have returned. This is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560. The Answer. Here with Deborah and Jim. I am your host. I'm attorney Stephen Leahy.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Attorney Stephen Leahy with OPM tax resolutions. Remember, if you need help with the IRS, OPM tax resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649 and visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. And also, too, if you're looking to buy or sell real estate in Northeastern Illinois, you give me, Jim Leahy, with that properties call, 847-271-3695.
That's the Jim Leahy guarantee. He'll treat you like family.
Wow.
Yes. I will treat you like family. Actually,
that's what he always...
I created a jingle, but I didn't want to tell you. I just wanted to spring it on you.
That is his motto.
That is my motto.
Treat you like family.
I will treat you like family, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a call today, 847-271-3695.
I hope he treats you better than he treats me. That's all
I treat you great.
I'm just teasing, Jim. It's just a tease.
I bring you the Cubs game. The blog. The blog.
So much is happening. We didn't even talk about Cory Booker or anything like that.
I know. It's a wild week.
I know.
And we have all this rain coming down, so we didn't talk about that. Be like, wow. I feel like we're in the Amazon. I'm up around in the Amazon.
Well, anyways, but that's not. I'm not going to talk about Cory Booker on this segment of the show. On this segment of the show, this is the blog segment, as we just introduced. We just introduced it as the blog segment. And on this segment of the show, I always talk about what's going on in my office. And I pointed this out before to people. Everything comes in kind of waves. You know that it seems like the same type of case all of a sudden comes in. Like 3 or 4 at the same time. I don't know why that is, but it is. And recently it's been about a different version, like bankruptcies. And it's really bankruptcy. Now remember, there's 6 things you can do if you owe the IRS money. Okay. And I'm just going to review them with you. The first thing you can do is you can pay the IRS. And so I always tell people,
that sounds like a good option.
Borrow the money, do whatever you can, pay the IRS and get them out of your life. Okay. The second thing you can do, you can come up with an installment agreement. And there's different types of installment agreements. This is the common type. This is a common way to solve the IRS problem. The third thing you can do is this offer and compromise, and this is what you hear on the radio. Pay pennies on the dollar, and sometimes that's possible. The fourth thing you can do is you can declared currently not collectible, and that just means I can prove to the IRS that you don't have after you pay all your bills, you don't have any money left to pay the IRS, and they'll put you in the status called currently not collectible. The fifth thing you can do if you owe the IRS money is you can file for protection under the bankruptcy laws. And this is a very powerful option. Now I'm just going to review the sixth thing, and this is what I never want you to do. Nothing, right? You can do nothing. Keep going on with the way you're going.
It's just funny.
And have trouble. Because it's going to happen.
It's just funny you keep saying that things come in waves. It's so true because the past couple of weeks, I think it's been the past month, we've talked about bankruptcy and the options that you can have when filing a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 when in regards to, saving your home. Was it last week we talked about the spouse declaring they split and then they were protected? Yeah, one was protected and one wasn't. That's right. And that was the question last week. But this week I'm going to talk about the remedy, because what happens is that we all know that the IRS is a very powerful organization. One of the most powerful organizations in our country, in our society. Let's face it.
Well,
in the
and
world.
I agree with that.
Mean,
I don't know that. I don't Chinese secret police oppress. Probably a little bit more oppressive than the.
A little. Yeah.
So I think
shame on me. You're right. I'm wrong.
Okay. So, and I'm sure a lot of these other countries have like things. Again, they talk to China now.
Go to the Russian prisons.
Try to talk about. Talk about censorship and Twitter and
let's focus.
Helping them.
Let's focus.
And Google helping them. But okay, I'm going to focus like a laser beam here and talk about, because the only thing, one of the only things in our society that's more powerful than the IRS is the federal court system. Okay, and when the federal court system, when a federal judge tells the IRS, "Hey, stop it," they do, And if they don't, the federal judge will have them in front of them, and they'll give them sanctions, and there'll be problems. The federal judge can cause the IRS problems, and so they listen. The IRS listens to the federal judges, and this is so important. Okay, now sometimes when I'm dealing with the IRS on behalf of a client, I will state the obvious. And the obvious is this: hey, my client can always turn around and file for protection under the bankruptcy laws. And if he does that, then we can forego this whole thing. Now, people don't want to file bankruptcy. It should be your last option, but it is an option, and it is a negotiating tool when it comes to the IRS, because there's certain things. Now, not all taxes are dischargeable in bankruptcy. So, for instance, if I owed for last year. What happens, let me give you a good example. I have a client, and he is being levied when he comes to see me, and he's renting. And the problem is, if the IRS, he's a 1099 employee, means they're going to take all of his money. He's not going to get anything from his employer. They're going to take it all. And if they take all of his money in the levy, he won't have his money to pay his rent. And if he's 5 days late on his rent, they're going to evict him. He won't have a place to go, and he won't have any money to pay to go anywhere. So this becomes a very big deal, right? And so first we start to work with the revenue officers, and there's rules that the revenue officer has to follow.
But remember that
they don't always
do it,
exactly.
just to get you in trouble.
Exactly.
That was our blog segment last week.
That's right.
Now you can go on. I hate to cut you off. Right. I'm so sorry for all you listening out there, driving, getting ready for the Bears game tonight against the Packers, sitting at home.
Go Bears.
Yeah, sitting at home, do what you do best. You can go to YouTube and watch our prior clips, or go to ChicagoTaxTeam.com. We have content on there as well that you can review and get answers to. I apologize.
And this show is on ChicagoTaxTeam.com. You can listen to the podcast. It's on the website. You just go there. Every episode is there.
Attorney Stephen Lay, running out of time, so I really didn't mean to cut you off there. So if you
I get
continue.
it, but what I wanted to say though about what happened. When you can't get there, when they're doing things they're not supposed to do. So if I could prove a hardship, even if I'm not in compliance, so if I haven't filed any tax returns, and they're not supposed to give me a installment agreement or a stop anyway. But if I could prove that this levy is going to cause a severe hardship, they're supposed to stop the levy. Now, I have proven a hardship, but the revenue officer won't budge. Now, I can appeal it. And that appeal is going to take a little bit of time. And we talked about that sometimes they have to find ways around my appeal, even when I win. And then the appeal, that gets very complicated, and you're risking not getting your paycheck because it's going to take more time than your next payday. And if you miss your next payday, that could cause a big problem. So what do you do? Well, sometimes you turn to the bankruptcy courts, and the moment I file a case with the bankruptcy court, you have what they call an automatic stay, and the automatic stay stops all collector activities, including the IRS. So if they're levying my pay, if they've frozen my bank account, and I can't convince the revenue officer to let it go as they should under the rules, because remember, they don't always follow the rules, then I can turn.
Rules are meant to be broken.
That's right, and I could turn to the bankruptcy courts. And once I file the case with the bankruptcy courts, the automatic stay comes into place. That means you're going to get your pay stub, and you're going to avoid this catastrophe that's going to happen. And I got a call yesterday saying the guy's happening. They've taken all of his money. They're going to give him $300.
I think the most important thing, though, that we always reiterate and we always talk about is get representation.
Absolutely.
Get out there and make sure you hire an attorney so that he or she can represent you.
And not these outfits that don't have that aren't attorneys.
People who are,
someone local.
That's right. And OPM
very good
tax resolution is local. 312-664-6649. And visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your help to fight the IRS. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jim Leahy. I'm with That Properties, selling real estate. Give me a call, 847-271-3695. Now,
shameless plug.
Shameless plug. You should have seen what I did for. I'll go into it later. Remember, go to YouTube. go to chicagotaxteam.com. We have content on there so you can get the answers for your questions. It's right at your fingertips. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen to our sponsors and come right back on AM 560.
The Answer.